Let's start with the interception.
Perfect. Where you get that coat from? How about that?
Same thing. I go, is this really happening? Yeah, I mean, that one just, looking, I mean, you got to look right at myself. Obviously, I got to go look at it. Long guy, big, obviously, tall arms, and guess I just misjudged his length. He made a great catch, and I don't know if he's had an easier interception in return than that one. But as I said, I was chasing him down. I'm like, is this happening again? Oh, well, boom, you score. Let me get back on the field, and let's just get this thing back.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So, as you can see, that's the game we're going to start with today. Philadelphia versus Dallas. Now, going into this game, everybody was like, we don't trust Dallas. We don't think Dallas can get it done. This is the type of game Dallas lays an egg, blase, all that type of stuff. And I agree. I definitely agree. But Dallas actually came to play today. Dak Prescott, we had good Dak Prescott today, other than the crazy play by Josh Sweat. I'm going to put it on the screen. So we got good Dak Prescott today, other than the crazy interception that I'm going to put on the screen by Josh Sweat. That's just an athletic play. Like, nobody anticipates that, right? So Dak Prescott was 27 for 35, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. He played well. CeeDee Lamb, 10 receptions, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. They played well, but I think they more or less stayed on the right track more than the Eagles lost the game. Because Gardner Minshew was 24 for 40. I don't know why they passed it so much. 355 passes, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. The stare down interception, and then the DB just taking the ball. As well as our guy, what is his name? Let me find it. What is his name? Miles Sanders. The Miles Sanders fumble, which was huge down the stretch. But I want to talk about AJ and Devontae. And I said this in my small review that I did Saturday. This might be one of the best tandems. Definitely the best tandem in the NFL right now, but one of the best tandems ever. I don't have any numbers as I'm recording this right now, but I'm going to put his numbers up here. AJ had this, Devontae had this. Like, these dudes are crazy, and I think AJ was on a bum knee the whole game. Still was making plays. But I still think Jalen is probably the MVP because he's able to get the most out of them guys, even though those guys are supremely talented. I think our guy Jalen gets the most out of them. Even though Garden had a good day, he passed at 355. But I think those interceptions and the fumbles, I think those interceptions Hurts doesn't make. And I think that Dallas loses. You might be thinking, why are you talking about them more than Dallas? Because there's really nothing there to talk about with Dallas. Dallas came in, it was at home, Christmas Eve, and they did what they were supposed to do. They came in, they won. Now they're in contention to get the home playoff game, which they might get if Jalen Hurts is hurt next week. Because now that's a tough situation because Jalen's playing well. Do you want to have him out possibly 3 weeks if you get the first round bye? Or do you want to come play him a little bit? It's a tough decision that Sirianni's going to have to make. But I think he's at least going to try to play next week. But overall, good game by Dallas. They came in and did what Dallas is supposed to do. Now, I don't think they're going to make any noise in the playoffs, but they came in and did what they're supposed to do. They actually lived up to expectations, and they beat a team that people thought they wasn't going to beat. So shout out to them, and shout out to Michael Parsons. He had an excellent game. Some of those rushes, they probably scored touchdowns on some of those plays if Michael Parsons not in Gardner Minshew's face. He had an all-time game. Dak had a great game. Shout out to Dallas. CeeDee Lamb looks like he might be turning the corner. Shout out to Dallas. So we're going to talk about Kansas City and Seattle. So Geno was 25 for 40, a touchdown and interception, and his running back, 26 carries, 107 yards. I just don't know what to make of Seattle anymore. So it looks like Seattle is regressing back to the mean. Now, granted, they've lost some tough wins. In the last couple of weeks. But it looks like not Dallas. It looks like Geno and them are regressing back to the means of where they thought they was going to be. If I'm not mistaken, they're 7-8 now. I put it on the screen. They're 7-8 now, staring at possibly not even making the playoffs. So I don't even know what to make of them. They got to get some wins here. To finish the season out strong. But you can't do nothing when you're playing the best player in the game right now, Patrick Mahomes. 16 for 28, 224, 2 touchdowns, too much Kansas City. I wrote down clock struck midnight for Seattle. Essentially what I just said earlier about Seattle rushing back to the means. The game started off 17-0. Kansas City never looked back. The Seahawks, like I said earlier, they're on a skid right now. They've lost their last 3. Nothing really much to talk about as far as them. They came through, they saw, they conquered. So yeah, shout out to Kansas City. Still fighting to get that number 1 seed with Buffalo. We're gonna see how that turns out. Speaking of Buffalo, and I was gonna do this video real quick, but I might as well go ahead and go through it. Justin Fields, 15 for 23, 119 yards, a touchdown. They looked good early. They looked really good early, and then the defense failed them. They were playing above themselves, and then they came back. They came back down. But when your defense is giving up almost 300 yards rushing, they go 254 rushing yards to Buffalo. So when you give up that many rushing yards and your offense can't manufacture points, you get blown out. You get dominated by the second or third best team in the NFL. And that's what happened. They got beat by a much better team. Excuse my bad. They got beat by a much better team. And that's what happened. So I don't even care about the win-loss record when it comes to them. I just want to see how Justin looking. And Justin Fields is looking like a guy that's turning the corner and is still learning how to play a position, but he's playing much better than I initially thought he would. He's playing much better than I initially thought he would. And so speaking about somebody who's not playing as well as I thought they would be, Malik Willis. So if you didn't know, Malik Willis is the 3rd round draft pick for the Tennessee Titans. He is behind Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill got hurt. I think he got injured, and it's pretty much will be done for the season. So it's Malik's job the rest of the season. Malik was 14 for 23, 99 yards, 2 touchdowns. But we all know who runs that show, Derrick Henry. 23 carries, 126 yards, and a touchdown in a loss, which is major for them because Jacksonville is on their heels, and I think Jacksonville is going to get them. So they went from clear-cut favorites in the AFC South to might have to play a road playoff game. So if they make the playoffs in general. Malik Willis does not look special. He doesn't look special. I was talking to a friend about this a couple hours ago. His ceiling might be Dak Prescott. That's what it's looking like. Now, granted, this is year 1. Justin Fields didn't look good year 1. Trevor Lawrence didn't look good year 1. Hell, even Peyton Manning didn't look good year 1. And he's been in and out of the lineup. Tua looked terrible in year 1. So, and Tua's looking not Tua no more. Tua went from MVP conversation to oof, But that's somewhere I think Lamar should consider. But we'll talk more about that in his own separate video. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of Malik Willis yet. He can win me over. He's a great guy. It looks like great humanitarian and all that. But we say the same things about Dak Prescott. So it remains to be seen. I don't want to judge him until Thanksgiving of next year. If he doesn't look any better by Thanksgiving of next year, I'm gonna be out on him. He would be my first guy that I'm like completely out on. So yeah. And you might be like, Keys, why you not talking about Baltimore? Baltimore didn't do nothing noteworthy. I didn't get a chance to watch Baltimore even play, but I did listen to it a little bit. My thing with Baltimore is that they're winning games. Now, granted, they played the Atlanta Falcons. It doesn't, they're the Atlanta Falcons, But Atlanta Falcons have been slightly hot. And it might be ignorant of me to even speak on the game, but I didn't watch it, but I listened to it a little bit. because it was on as I was at work. But they did end up scoring their first receiving touchdown since week 3, which is ridiculous to me. And they ended up running away with the game. I think the final score was 17-6. And Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowl alternate. And that's what I really want to talk about. So Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowl alternate. And Derek Carr is not a Pro Bowl alternate. Mac Jones isn't. And it's one more guy. And it's one more guy who's not a Pro Bowl alternate. And I'm not understanding why Tyler Huntley was even provided a Pro Bowl alternate. He has not played well at all. Here's his season numbers. Do these season numbers look like even a Pro Bowl alternate? You know what I mean? I'm taking Derek Carr over there. I don't think Justin Herbert made the Pro Bowl. There's a lot of guys I'm taking over Tyler Huntley that should have been a Pro Bowl alternate. So I don't know, I don't know. But I think they're doing that on purpose to justify not playing Lamar. Be like, hey, we got a Pro Bowl quarterback behind you, blah, blah, blah. So I don't necessarily know what's going on with Baltimore. I'm kind of sour on Baltimore, but I'm going to do my best to try to cover them. Just like I'm going to try to cover Sharif Sanders and Deion Sanders at Colorado State. I might not agree with what they're doing. They're still brothers, though. So we got Cleveland. Deshaun Watson was 15 for 31, 131 yards, an interception, a tip pass. But it was also a bad pass in my opinion. I think the weather got to Deshaun. Deshaun didn't want to play in the cold weather. He didn't want to play in a cold weather state anyway. So because he wanted to stay south. Play in a warmer city. So I think the cold got to him. But even still, Coop dropped the pass. Coop dropped 2 passes actually. Now I think that second pass, Deshaun missed him. But Coop dropped a pass. So it's not like they wasn't in the game to begin with. They went up 10-0 and didn't score again. Now Deshaun didn't play particularly great, obviously by his yards and everything. But they're more or less a running team anyway. They just need Deshaun to play good enough. So Deshaun's rounding into shape. He didn't play well this week, but I think the cold really, really got to him. These are building blocks for him. Nothing in this season matters for him. It's just getting back under center and filling it out and blah, blah, blah. I think Cleveland will be, I said this last week, I think when Cleveland gets back healthy, that defense gets back healthy for the most part. I think it's pretty healthy for the most part. But I think they'll be better next year when they have more continuity. And I don't know if you guys heard the story. I'm not sure if I told you guys the story. But Deshaun had the playbook for Cleveland, the initial playbook. And he had the, not the preseason, but the beginning of the season playbook. But when he got to the team and he was able to work with the team, they gave him a completely different playbook. I'm talking about completely different playbook. So he's still learning on the fly. So he ran for his first touchdown this week. He's coming around. He's coming around. He's going to give him time to reevaluate himself. You're talking about 2 years out of football at an intellectual position. You're going to take time to get the timing right for the receivers. And I think that'll be fine. In my last game, which doesn't really matter, Russell Wilson, 15 for 27, 214 yards, a touchdown, 3 interceptions. I was at my grandfather's house while this game was going on, and I didn't even know Russell was playing. I thought they were going to sit Russ for the rest of the season. Obviously not. He had Baker Mayfield out there looking like John Elway, a whole Pro Bowler. Terrible. Denver was terrible. I refuse to watch Denver. Denver might be the first team I actively don't even cover no more in the Black Quarterback Series because I just can't do it, y'all. I can do the Ravens without I can do the Ravens without our guy, but I definitely can't do Cleveland or not Cleveland. I'm sorry, I can't do Russell Wilson. I think I might be out on Russ, but that's all I got for you guys. I gotta end